So this is a very unexpected video for me to make, but I have to come clean about my Overcome Pelvic Pain story. A lot of you saw the interview that Dr. Bri and I did back in 2017. I was almost fully recovered from CPPS, and she asked me to do an interview with her, and over 50,000 people have seen it since then, maybe even more now. And by the way, it's a really useful interview. A lot of people have received hope. I have guys who are like, just seeing that actually let me know that I'm not crazy and that other people are experiencing this. Like, so many good things have come from this interview. That's not the point. But in that story, right, I'm talking about how I overcame this, and even then, I've since started helping men as a coach, and I created a program with Dr. Bri, and over 1,000 men have gone through it, and it's been incredible. We've had a lot of success stories. But what I wanted to point out is that after that interview in 2017, I didn't share, or I haven't yet shared, the full story. What do I mean by that? I overcame my pelvic floor issues, but I didn't realize I didn't fully address mind-body syndrome and the true root cause, because I continued to deal with some food sensitivities and intolerances and digestive issues that were, pretty much boxing me in. And they were keeping me from being afraid of having flare-ups, being afraid of getting back to certain parts of my life. Also, I had chronic headaches, not the entire time, but there were bouts of it where I had headaches where I couldn't even work at a computer for 15 minutes before getting a bad headache. So I had other manifestations of what's called mind-body syndrome that came up even after. And beyond that, before I ever dealt with CPPS, even as a child, I had headaches. I had urinary frequency and things. I'm not beating myself up as a kid. But what I'm getting at here is I came into new information that has been incredibly empowering and liberating. And I have to share it with everyone, because I was like, oh, look at me. I was able to recover from CPPS. You can do it too, which, again, that was a very positive message, and I'm only here to serve. But what I didn't realize is, even though I let go of that, I didn't fully address the root cause of what even created it. And I had other manifestations of chronic health conditions that I will admit weren't as extreme, and I was more able to deal with it than before. But now I don't deal with any chronic physical imbalances. I'm a human being. I still have acute things that happen. We all do. But it's different. It's a very different way of life. So once I learned that this is MBS, or TMS, tension myositis syndrome, this helped me to really feel my emotions and fully process them. And a big thing for me was looking at my personality tendencies, my personality traits, to put pressure on myself and to cling to the future. So for some people, they might be stuck in the past. They might have a certain personality trait of being a perfectionist or being a people pleaser or whatever. Different people have different things. But for me, I put a ton of pressure on myself. It's because I want to serve and do great things in the world for others, but it was still undue, too much pressure, and also wasn't fully feeling my emotions, and clinging to wanting to have a future experience that's different than right now. So not only did I do things to work through that and understanding more about mind-body syndrome, but this was very liberating, and it's led me to shifting the way that I work with men as well, so that we go direct to retraining the brain, clearing out emotions, reprocessing, and realizing that that's really how we not only fix pelvic floor dysfunction and urinary issues, but you might have, this is very common, you might also be dealing with some low back pain, digestive issues, headaches, some of these other things around your body. You're like, oh, they're all different. No, they're not. They're all mind-body syndrome manifestations. There's something called symptom imperative phenomenon. What's interesting is that you can heal one part of your body. So this happened for me, and it happens to people all the time. And then a few months later, a year later, whenever it is, whenever there's another major stressful life event or stressors or an exacerbation of something, another condition pops up, because your brain it's smart, right? It's using this as a way to protect you from having to deal with the emotions, to protect you, and also to send you a message that you need to change something. But if you think you're I already healed that thing, right, it could shift and give you something different. So a different type of manifestation, which is what happened in my life. So this is a major problem. other practitioners and programs target the pelvic floor as the issue. It's like that's the localized area. That's where the tension is. That's where the dysfunction is. We need to do manual mechanical therapies. We need to change our diet chemically. We need to really do everything we can to make sure that part of your body is okay. It's happening in the brain. The brain is creating the pain, and also it can create dysfunction because anything that's governed by the autonomic nervous system, that's happening below the level of conscious thought, including the genitourinary system. And that dysfunction can be and is being created by the brain. So what's interesting is that people will do these localized therapies, and they'll like do stretching every day for a few years. They'll go to physical therapy. They'll do everything they can. The way I see it, it's like molding this Play-Doh and like making it perfect. Like, yes, okay, I'm better. They're like 70, 80, 90% better a lot of times. And they're like, okay, I got over it. I'm pretty much in the clear now. I'll just manage this and kind of live my life. They don't realize. They're like, hey, I beat CPPS. I beat, this pelvic floor issue. But then something else comes up and they think it's totally different. It's not. Unless it's an acute injury, like an infectious disease, or we're not talking about that. We're talking about mind-body syndrome stuff versus acute injuries. But this is extremely common, and that's why I have to come clean and make this video, because I've since realized a deeper level of knowledge that doesn't only allow you to clear out pelvic floor dysfunction, which is easily one of the hardest mind-body syndrome manifestations you could ever have. I've heard from a lot of people who have dealt with a big list of them, and they're like, the pelvic floor issues are actually the hardest out of all of them. But nonetheless, it allows you to clear out everything there else and know moving forward, whenever I have some bloating or constipation or some tightness come up in my pelvic floor or a headache comes on, because these things happen sometimes for me. I'm a human being. I'm like, this is mind-body syndrome. My body is fine. What do I need to let go of? Or I'll say like, this is just MBS. I'll just laugh a little bit. And, what do I need to let go of? Because that's what it is. It's like, what do I need to release? Do I need to take some pressure off of myself? Do I need to let go of an emotion that I'm not actually feeling because I'm keeping it in because it hurts? There's something there. My physical body's fine. Now, if it continues or if there's something that you need to get checked out, like there could be a structural issue sometimes. If I have like a huge cut or something, like, I'm not saying to never visit the doctor, but when you get empowered with this information and you've gone through an incredible healing journey, which you're doing now, that's why you're watching this video. I'm so glad I get to be a part of it, and it's just such a blessing. So that led me to reformulating, reworking the Overcome program, Overcome Pelvic and Urinary Issues. Ultimately, it is mind-body syndrome that's being locally experienced in that part of your body. So we do have some tools that help you to calm, release, relax your pelvic floor muscles, the tension. But it's all about realizing that this is mind-body syndrome and then reprocessing the way you perceive and experience the pain more objectively. Then we're releasing and we're reprogramming. So it's all in this program. The new version is out. It's incredible. I'm so excited that we can go directly. This is the last pelvic or urinary health issue program you'll ever need. And I look forward to seeing you in there if I can support you in any way. And thank you for watching this video.